Your Honor, I stand before you today not just as a victim of negligence, but as someone whose life has been ripped apart in ways that defy common thinking. The Uber Tesla she destroyed was not just a car, it was my lifeline. My way out of the darkest situation of my life. It was my escape from the hell of a human trafficking network that had been hunting me, taking my life, taking my money, and my dignity for Kansas State University. The moment I acquired that car, I saw hope for the first time. In what seemed like forever. As you can see, the earnings from Uber Tesla are not a little bit more, it's a whole lot more. Over 3 times the income of a regular Tesla car, a regular Uber car. It was my chance. It was my chance to not only survive, but to finally thrive. The Tesla represented my ability to earn a legitimate income, to break free of the shackles and exploitation, and to build a future where I can live independently, free to reset the Wi-Fi passwords that I paid for whenever I want. Freedom to collect my own fucking mail. Freedom to play the fucking piano I worked for 20 years and took lessons from people from Juilliard and University of Kansas. Freedom from fear. It wasn't just a car, it was my ticket to freedom. But in an instant, your client took that all away. In one reckless, negligent moment, she obliterated my escape plan and sent me spiraling back, stuck in a place that I loathe, that I worked so hard to leave behind. And yet, this case, it isn't just about a car or a job. It's about a broader system of survival and progress. About the years of hard work I invested into building a life from absolutely nothing. You see, my journey wasn't handed to me, Your Honor. I've been working since the age of 4. When I started in the rideshare industry, I had nothing. Nothing. No savings, no assets. 0. I borrowed $150 from a friend to rent a limp vehicle after getting approved, and I began driving. And I began driving like my life depended on it, because it does. Every day. Every single penny I earned, I took very seriously. I invested because I knew the value of education, of growing and learning, or at least that's what they tell us, huh? But then you see people like Cardi B and Kim Kardashian without degrees, trafficking and raping and pimping little kids, and they're walking free with their Bugattis and Maseratis. Why can't I have a fucking Tesla? I applied for the world's first Master of Science in blockchain because of my involvement as a node on the XBT BTC network in 2009. I didn't know about the 12 passwords required to unlock the address. And somewhere I have over 1 million original Bitcoin at under a penny. But I might not ever see that. Why? The 12 passwords. They're hidden around the world. It's likely that my ex-boyfriend, who worked for Live Nation as a programmer in charge of top musicians' web stores such as Mariah Carey, Madonna, and Shakira, ran off to Cambodia or Russia with all of that Bitcoin. He may have even spent it. I don't know. He refuses to reply to anything on any of the accounts that I have for him. I've tried to locate it many times and claim my reward as a node with my HP laptop. Yes, I mined 1 Bitcoin with an HP laptop. Now look at it today. Look at what we built, the think tank behind Bitcoin, what we built. It was a think tank to get China on the grid and get the race-mixing Uyghur Muslims to infiltrate China and weaken their dominance for the people of the book, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It was also built to free the Dutch from Kenyan hackers who were swift hacking their payments for flowers, thus the orange color of the Dutch flag, for the orange Bitcoin. It has also been used as a trustless system to mitigate conflict in Rwanda and Cyprus. It works. Look at Rwanda now. Kigali is booming. And what do I get for this involvement? Everything's stolen from me, constantly raped by jealous little people who don't know the backstory and it's not their fucking business to know. This is, see, I'm going to have to really keep my temper. This is why I might have AI read this, because I'm already getting pissed off. Constantly raped and violated and stolen from and ganged up on and conspired against by a bunch of people who didn't even graduate college or graduated from a much lower ranking school, Kansas State. They certainly never qualified based on objective metrics for objective universities who only look at objective test scores like they do in Europe. They require proctored live examinations, pen to paper. 2013, I was raped by locals in Kansas. Some of them were non-educated police. Not all the police did this. Some of the police snitched. When Fitch tried to say that the fucking police coerced her when there are 7 goddamn cameras, 8 witnesses, and premise security, and finally she admitted in court after 2 years of litigation, I wanted to tell the bitch and say, you want to know what fucking coercion is? You want to know what fucking police brutality is? I'll tell you what fucking police brutality is. Don't you dare talk shit on good cops. Fucking bitch. I went nuclear. I've experienced police brutality based on slander. Absolute fucking lies. Of less attractive, less educated people with worse clothes than me. There was no conviction in that case. And there's a terrible mugshot of me taken by my cousin who dropped out of college. And is incredibly short and not very good looking. Okay, I'm going to say it like it is. She's not as pretty as her sister who's a doctor. She's not as pretty as I was. And at my age, I'm probably still prettier than her, the prettiest, and she knows it. And I'm definitely more educated. She took that. She ended up getting kicked out of the police, by the way. For what? Corruption. So don't talk shit on good police, or you're going to find, especially now that my uncle who's a good police that I know of has my back, don't fucking say shit about good police. I'll come find you. Anyway, they send this mugshot because they think it's funny to them because everything's a fucking football game, isn't it, Kansas State? Everybody's lives. Get an interview at Deloitte. Ha ha ha! Look at this mugshot. So, yeah, basically rideshare was about all I could fucking do with that kind of thing. I didn't have a fucking conviction. But most people don't know the legal system. They just see a mugshot and think somebody did something. Most of the attractive women and some of the attractive men in Kansas don't make it to the age of 40. We all know that. Especially if they go to better schools in Kansas State or have better jobs than ugly little jealous Kansas State rural alumni. Judge Meisenheimer knew that I would be murdered if I stayed in Kansas. But he's also from Kansas State. And he stuck me with someone that I now know, after my trip to Switzerland, is a human trafficker and mentally ill. He gave this fucking person my assets. I've never had any fucking freedom from this fucking network, and I'm tired of working 7 days a week for nothing, only to end up worse off. I'm tired of uglier, less educated people taking my stuff and spinning it so fucking stupidly. 4 years, I worked diligently. When I say 7 days a week, I worked 7 days a week to climb out of poverty and into a future of security and independence. It wasn't just surviving. I was thriving. I invested wisely, turning $30 into something far more significant. Every Wednesday, without fail, I invested $30 into Ethereum when it was priced just $7 and Bitcoin when it was $120. These small but consistent investments turned into something much larger. I turned $600 into $40,000. Gains I carefully nurtured with the foresight and discipline of someone who understands the value of financial stability and has training from NYU with a 3.8 in technical analysis and valuation. But when Tracy Fitch caused me to liquidate those crypto assets, or whoever, she's a pawn, when the network caused me to liquidate those crypto assets in a down market, I watched a lot of those gains wipe down because I held, because I know that eventually the value goes up. Because I understand how the Bitcoin process works, I don't necessarily always sell. I HODL, HODL, and then reinvest because it is always going up. I can explain that to you, but I'm not being paid to explain that to you. So if you want to know how Bitcoin works, I will let you know because I know how Bitcoin works. But I'm not an ugly, stupid little man, so they won't let me talk about it. And other jealous bitches think they know about it and ruin crypto. It's like, bitch, you didn't study it. Can you fucking respect the ability of saying, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? I don't know. Let me learn. Little know-it-alls. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Kim Kardashian. Ethereum Max, you dumb bitch. Anyway. And I didn't give up. Even after the financial strain, after my dreams were shattered, I kept fighting. I kept working. I took whatever job as quickly as I could because I had to keep my cell phone on, which was a DoorDash. Hey, at least I got in shape for a bit anyway. And, the further I get degraded, they back off, and then they see I start to stack again and then they come after me. Then the hacking starts and the bills are double paid. And then there's like 7 different Amazon things. And I'm like, I don't have time to fumble this. And they reroute my phone. So I'm on with some hacker with an annoying vocoder. Don't get me started. Anyway, the damage this accident did was calculated. It was I can't talk about emotional damage. You know what? Fuck you. I don't care about emotions. I'll be sociopathic as hell with this. I'll just talk about the fucking money. It was calculated financial bomb on my life. The car, that Tesla, was my source of real income and hope for a new life. I was dreaming every day that I was driving about my own place. Yeah. About being able to play piano without being hit by a car hitting me. Without all my communications being monitored, without my mail being stolen. My goal was increasing that credit score, which I did to get the car. And then having the income to invest in a down market, and I knew that within 12 months of making $1,500 a week, and my credit cards were almost paid off, all that extra money would have gone into crypto, and I would be free. Numerous times, the captor claims he's part of a conspiracy to degrade me and spy on me for Katie Rowan Schwab, who was I on my way to see Michael Nessa, who's not even worth a fucking war, because I've gotten dicked by people from fucking Switzerland, Norway, Russia. It's just Michael's not even close to that. Like, that's the best dick she ever had. She got dick whipped. She got jealous. She shouldn't be trolling me. Yeah, Massa. I don't fucking Massa. Little pedophile motherfucker, get the fuck away from me. I dumped him the minute he told me that. And then I'm like, oh, no wonder he knows Roomba. And I didn't know if they were just like psyoping me. Oh, he's with Katie Roomba. Or I see them drive by. You know how they troll and ball stuff. It's just so fucked up, man. So when I went to Europe, Xander's like, nah, they really are. They are. And Mike can't deny it now. And the reason I dumped him is because what he confessed to me, but I'm not including that in the court thing. So anyway, he said he's there to ensure that I never do better than Roomba, Kitty and Chris, and jealous little Kansas State alumni, ooh, and some of my neighbors, ooh, who didn't do what I did and are sitting there being miserable, stuck on farms, pumping their oil wells, milking their cows, and talking shit on me when I haven't asked for fucking much from them. I said, go ahead, have it. I know I can make it on my own. And had they not interfered, I'd be sitting on some nice amount of money in crypto right now. Y'all know that. Now, my credit was just wrecked with that because they slammed my account with these charges and didn't give me, like, Hertz didn't even give me a chance to pay. They just wrote it off. They thought, oh, this bitch doesn't have the money. Not true. I did. And how am I supposed to fight that charge off working 7 days a week and sitting on customer service for 4 hours? I couldn't afford to lose an hour of time. So now I'm going to have to go retroactively back after I get settlement and do oh, poor me. Like, that's the biggest of my problem. I'll be very happy, especially if I'm sitting in somewhere, anywhere but here. The truth is, I worked hard. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to fight back physically? Am I supposed to go jack her car, go take 90% of Allstate's assets and force them to liquidate in a down market? What? You want me to fucking beat you up? No. I'm trying to be a better person, but it's really getting difficult. I built my life from nothing, step by step. The damage inflicted isn't just about my car or my job. It sent a shockwave through every part of my existence. The future I worked so tirelessly to secure was ruined by women in the name of her. I'm the only bitch out there in D.C. doing this job, and I guarantee the only bitch that's light or white or anything other than black ranked nationally. Why? Why did everybody hates that job? It is, like, honestly, because you barely make any money with your gas car. But it's freedom. It's getting the fuck out of the apartment. It's something. The future I work so tirelessly to secure now hangs in the balance. I'm very angry. This is why this has taken me so long. The expenses. Because I'm pissed. Had Fish asked the people who told her to do this or been curious about me and looked up my existence and my education, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. But the cult doesn't let people ask why. Now you know the importance of why. Why is a very important question. Why the fuck are you doing that? Why are you hitting her car? Knowing why separates you from being a pawn of some nasty people who might get you incarcerated to get their goals achieved, which is what's going to happen, Tracy. If I do not get paid today, I'm reopening this case and you're going to get 20 years for domestic terrorism. This separates you, knowing why, from being a pawn of uninformed consent. I see the defendant parading around smugly on social media, getting high fives. Well, I got a standing ovation for taking her on by the citizens of Frederick. The people she gets high fives from, I don't think they're very useful to the collective progression of the research and technology pool. I see Fitch getting ugly, expensive tattoos, nails done, and I can't afford my tolls or fucking pet food, while living with a rapist who's probably a serial killer, looking at my diplomas and awards with disappointment. Looking at my master's degree from a top school in a global subject I started in 2009, And I fought like hell to earn a spot among the very limited graduates in a highly proctored global graduate school pool. One of the most competitive and interesting things I had ever done. I'm very grateful to all the wonderful professors I have, including a former high justice, because I would not have been able to find this without the legal knowledge gained there. I worked for nearly a decade to get out of this situation. The Tesla did increase my income and completely decrease my expenses, because at this building there's a free charger. So I didn't have to pay anything to keep driving. Pure, nice, little profitable money for me to pay down credit and invest. I set up my success, and they let me have it just a little bit, just to take it away, just to rip Cinderella's dress, just like that. The ugly people. They let me see what it was possible, what it's like to have financial stability. And then they took it all away in less than 2 weeks of acquiring the car that took me about 3 years to get. Because it's actually harder to qualify for Uber Tesla than it is to purchase a car. They knew they were going to do this. They were watching. They're like, yeah, go ahead, pay all your credit card down. That's a good idea, some of the people said. Was it Martin or was it Franklin? Pay it all down. Okay, I'll pay all my credit card down like a good girl. I'll cash out crypto to pay my credit card down. Biggest mistake I ever made. Paying off credit. Fuck the credit. 30% interest, a $200 bill becomes like $7,000. Fuck you. See, I'm gonna have AI do this because I'm gonna get really fucking pissed off and go off the rail like I just did. They did this in the name of her, in the name of women. I'm asking for justice, not only for the physical damage to the Teslas, but for the far-reaching consequences that this incident has caused in my life. I'm asking for punitive damages so that this reckless behavior, driving a 1,000-pound weapon without regard for consequences, will not go unpunished. I'm asking that this court set the precedents, as there aren't any similar cases involving rideshare, but there will be in the future. Set the precedents to send a clear message that such behavior, such disregard for the lives and property of others will not be tolerated. Will's not be. King, will you? My education, my crypto investments, my hard work, all of it erased by one uneducated hit in the car. I'm not going to let this define me. You are not going to win. I will continue to fight for what is rightfully mine, and I ask that the court stand with me today, not just for compensation, but for justice. For the justice that will allow me to rebuild, to live free from fear, and to finally escape the cycle of exploitation that has held me captive for far too long. What do you think?